Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here again, ScaleFreak.com. We got Pumba.
What's going on?
We got Dave. And we got some more toys here. So this is actually pretty neat. We've all seen the Green Bastard before, but it got some winter touches, as you said.
It did.
If you look here, it looks pretty neat. He took this Proline JK two-door body and brooded it.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. And I see Honcho.
Yes.
And then I just see that you literally hacked it, pushed it in, slammed the roof, and then dovetailed the rear.
Correct.
Anything else?
Add an interior. Add Wraith interior.
It's got a Wraith interior also. So I think actually, as it gets closer to the season, or even mid-season, we should probably do another rig review on it to talk about where you've gone with it, because this looks like a really, really simple upgrade that makes it look really badass.
It's actually my very first body modification, if you want to call it. And I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. It's all plastic dipped on the inside and the outside,
so it'll be waterproof.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty durable. I got big ass screws in it, and I rolled it down a couple times, down a couple hills. So.
Yeah, those are Robinson screws, so you're not screwing around.
No, well, literally, I am screwing around.
Yeah, he's like, well, where do I get the parts from? I don't know, the hardware store.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that works for me.
Stuff I picked out of my toolbox, actually.
Yeah, no, I found it kicking around in the garage. And Dave, you've brought this beast here. You know what? Honestly, this is the first time I've actually seen one of these cars, other than going to the Torque series, but the first time I've actually got to pick it up and play with it.
Yep.
This thing is pretty badass. Have you had this thing out already?
I've had it a few times. I haven't done anything too crazy. I just did some passes in front of my house.
And some scrapes?
It's something to hold on to. It's really fast, so if you sneeze on the steering at all, it just...
Yeah, I can see the wings a little mangled.
Yeah,
I can see your front end's a
believe
little
it or
mangled.
not, I've only rolled it about 2 or 3 times, and it already screwed up the side pipes and everything. My dad picked those up for me the other day. He bought one online as well, so...
Oh, one of these?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, his came in the other day. He got the Courtney Force edition, so we're going to take it out and blast him in some parking lots this summer.
That will be fun to watch / not get hit with.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we were just drifting around in the garage real short, and it's just a really nasty habit of hitting myself with the car. So, I don't know, man. And it's funny, because I'm hurt right now. Guys, in the last episode, I told you guys all about my fall off the rocks, and if you saw that April 7th video blog, you saw my dumb ass back off the rocks. I'm walking around today, I'm like, my God, why does my elbow hurt so bad? And why does my ass hurt so bad? And I was like, what was I up to last night? And then I was like, oh yeah, I fell off the rocks.
Yeah, man.
and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I went to the chiropractor for a regular appointment. He's like, what'd you do to yourself? I'm like, I fell, it was like a 4-foot drop, and I landed flat on my ass.
I was happy to see that you added that at the end. That was classic.
Oh,
made me laugh.
And again, it was the funniest thing, because literally Antler grabs the camera. Are you okay? And he's like, I knew you would want that on film. I said, yeah, I do. So I think one of my goals is for this summer is to have a whole blooper reel for maybe like Christmas or something like that. Of all the really dumb stuff that I'd say that I'm going to get up to, but I'm pretty sure we're all going to get up to some pretty... Like, if you roll your car down another massive cliff...
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do that.
And then if I get a video of you taking somebody out with this thing in a playful, friendly, no one was hurt manner...
Well, unfortunately, if you get hit with this thing, someone's going to get hurt. It's really fast. And actually, because we're on, doing our Scale Freak thing and bench questions, this is probably the first scale vehicle I've seen built by Traxxas. When you pop open the shell on this thing, it is actually very scaled to what a real funny car typically would look like under the hood, and I think Traxxas did a decent job with that.
Yeah,
I was happy to see that.
And I agree with that. The only thing missing is a monstrous blower, so if they could just put that on, I mean, I know that's right there, but I'd love to see
a real blower would be really cool.
Or a scale Courtney Force, I would love that.
Yeah.
If you have Traxxas,
that would be a good idea.
If you have Traxxas on your Instagram, it's almost all Taylor Snyder and Courtney Force.
Yeah.
Almost all Taylor Snyder and Courtney Force. If you don't know who Taylor Snyder is, you need to get Traxxas on your Instagram. And then if you don't know who Courtney Force is, you need to. Well, whatever. Who cares? She's a good smile to sell a car.
Yeah.
But it's John Force that's and you're right. I can't qualify that because I know I was watching some stuff a while ago and she was winning.
Yeah.
So I can't discount her. She is a great racer, but she's also a great smile to sell cars.
Anybody that's going to put their foot into the floor on this thing and hold on tight's got some cojones.
I was going to say, Courtney Force definitely has bigger balls than me.
Yeah.
So, and she looked better in a racing suit too. So a fire suit. So Wow, I guess this is bench questions. I mean, we're eventually going to answer some questions. I like, cool. What was it you guys were like, can we answer some questions before we have to stay here till midnight again? Which is true, because every time we wind up taking a long-ass time. But
last episode, we only got 3 questions.
Yes, you're right. And then I did one like last week. We only got 3 questions too. Yeah. So in here, as always, I've got the questions. If you want to get your question, it's easy. Just benchquestions@gmail. It would go from this side to this side. Anyway, benchquestions@gmail.com. And then you send it in, and it goes in the bucket. And hey, why not, eh? I also want to remind you that just until the end of this week. So what did I say the date was? I announced it in the last episode. You have until, so this video will be released on the 17th. You have until midnight of the 19th to submit a question to benchquestions@gmail.com to be entered in the draw to win a t-shirt. So you've got to get your questions in, and I'm really just going to randomly, I'm just going to randomly select a name from, every time someone sends me a question, I'm just going to copy the name down, and even if you send me multiple questions, it's still just one entry. So don't send me multiple questions. Send me one great question for a panel, or multiple great questions in an email. And yeah, I'll work on that. And then someone, again, is going to win. It's either going to be an Average Joe's t-shirt or a band t-shirt. I'll ask you what your size is, and I'll tell you what I have available, and then you can pick between the two. So, yay! And like I said in the last episode, the last guy who won a t-shirt was from Finland. So I'll ship internationally for free. So you win a free shirt, and I'll ship it for free. Just standard shipping, blah, blah, blah. But again, as a disclaimer, I am the world's slowest shipper ever. So it will get there eventually. One day, you will get a t-shirt. So I don't have all sizes, but I'll get the best that I can. If it's like, if I'm giving you XL and you're a small, hang on the wall. So, all right. So let's get into questions.
No, it's not done yet.
Not done yet. It's not done cooking. All right. So first, you know what? And a couple times I was like, here, you read the question, and then you open it up, and you're like, it's chicken scratch.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you a doctor?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was doing. Yeah.
So, well, last episode, I'm literally like, I don't know what that says. I'll just make it up. So Nick Silvernail from Muskego, Wisconsin asks, I was glad that you guys were here to answer this one. How do you get drift tires mounted without screwing up the rim? And I've actually had a few people ask me this question in videos and stuff like that, asking, what's the trick to getting a drift tire on without destroying everything? So these guys are both smart. So I'm going to start with Pumba because Dave's just too excited to answer.
Oh, bro. The first thing you do is you put the rims in the freezer.
Yep.
You freeze the rims so the rims actually shrink. That's right. It's true though. You put the rims in the freezer so they shrink. You leave them in there for like 15 minutes. Then you boil a pot of water. You put the tires in a bowl of hot water. You let them expand for a little bit. And then you literally just put the rim over the tire, and it goes. You're done. Right on. And then you drop the whole rim and tire back in the freezer so they go together.
And then lay them on your counter for 20 minutes and slap them on. You're good.
You have the glue or anything?
Nope. No, bro. Nothing. They just stay there.
Yep.
They're like vacuum sealed.
Yep.
So that's it.
That's it.
So don't buy pre-mounted wheels. It's just that easy.
It's stupid. No, you just buy the tires you want.
So then, and then you can just keep. What do you do at the end? Just smack the wheel.
No, by the time they're that worn out, you can literally put them back in the hot water. They'll pop right back off. Or by that time,
you probably have a flat tire, and they just fall off. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're paper thin.
Yeah, and then just throw them. That's okay. I'm glad you guys were here to answer that question.
Wheels for years.
Because I mean, right now I'm using. Everyone looks as I point. I'm using Steve's Sakura D3 CS wheels, the sparking wheels, on my rally car right now.
However, do those wheels have a lip on the edge?
No, they fall right off.
No, do the rims have a lip?
I don't know. You can check later.
Yeah, because some of them have a flat mount. You couldn't do that with that style.
Those ones you're supposed to glue.
Yeah.
So the problem with that
those are the ones you want.
Yeah, the problem with those ones is as we're bombing around because they're not actually fastened to the car, you're like, oh, I see too much yellow. You got to pop the wheel back on.
Yeah.
So, but that's fine because Chris Ketty, gotta mention him everywhere. He told me, he's like, dude, those are the worst wheels for drifting. Like those are garbage. He's like, your car is gonna be doing this and this and this, and I'm like, yeah, but it's sparking. It was great. You know, I got runners going by my house like, what the hell is this guy doing? And it's like, yeah, Tokyo Drift, bro. And
with a controller in your hand.
Yeah. Because you just
they smoked instead of sparked.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Little
That would have been good.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Actually, speaking of which, speaking of smoke, did you watch that? Here we go, doing 3 questions an episode again. Have you seen that newest Fast and the Furious RC video?
No, I haven't.
It's the guy pulls up with a Camaro up against man, I'm gonna say, I don't know what import body it was. It's slipping my mind right now. They pull up to the line, Fast and the Furious 1 style, and it's like, you see the Camaro up on its back, and it goes, and then they're going, and they're trashing stuff, and then the cops chasing them and stuff, and the whole time they're revving their engines and stuff, and they've got it in post. They've got After Effects blowing like heat out of the exhaust. It's a neat. I gotta link that.
Yeah, link that. I'd like to
Fast and Furious. It was you know, and I watched it, and even my wife's like, that was really good. and it was the Godzilla, the GTR, because the whole video was Vitara. Now it's not a Vitara ad. It's just all the cars are Vitara.
That's cool.
So it looked really, really neat because they used the Vitara CHP cars.
Their bodies are
they used the
really
Vitara
nice.
Camaro and the Vitara Nissan GTR.
The GTR, yeah.
And
I was at the hobby shop. I see one of those Vitara Camaros, and even the exhaust pipes are already on there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the way the back bumper tucks under, they're really nice detailed bodies. So I bet you that'd be good to check it out.
Yeah, and they were doing like slow motion crashing through shit.
Really?
No,
That's awesome.
It was a really neat. It was a well done video, and the whole time I was like, yeah, somebody did that well.
Right on.
So then it's tires in the or rims in the freezer, tires in the boiling water,
And that's
it.
Literally
But
just go
we
together.
mainly use HPIT drift tires. Like I was about to say this, that
Right.
some cars, like because I've just gotten Sakura, I've understood that there are some tires in MST tires and things like that that have a ring that go in them apparently to hold them on. So not all rims are quite that easy. Make sure if you're doing it, you're just using a standard drift tire. If you're getting into a higher end drift tire, you might want to look online.
Cool. Maybe we could do a video sometime.
I think
I
that's
think
a great
same
idea.
rules apply. Same rules would apply though, because I'm pretty sure you'd still want to be able to put the new tire
Some
on.
of them I've been told it's just like a rubber band and it
Really?
slips over until it holds it
yeah.
in place.
One lesson I've learned definitely from boiling tires is do it when the wife's away or when she's completely passed out, because when she smells. I used to boil off Savage tires off my wheels.
I used to put them in the oven.
What the hell is that? and I used a pot that we used for camping, which can never be used again because it wasn't deep enough to put a thing in. So now there's a rubber ring on the bottom of the pot, and you'll never do this in the house again. Okay, fine. I stopped running my Savage. That was fine. And then I burned the shit out of myself because I'm like trying to pop the bead off, and I'm like, oh, it's hot water in the bowl. But it was like, I gotta get this done. Meanwhile, I was like, no, once you boil off the glue's boiled off. It's okay. But now I just use the vapor method from the acetate, and that's just easier, as long as you don't huff it. Yeah. If you do. All right, so next question here we've got from Gregor M. from Slovenia. Hey, my wife's Slovenian. What's the battery solution for a crawler? To have one big 5,000 mAh or 2 to 3 small 2 to 3,000 mAh batteries? So, Dave, what's your thought?
I think just the higher the milliamps, as long as you don't mind the weight. Mind you, stacking batteries, I guess, would get just as heavy too. But the higher the milliamps for sure, because it's going to get you the longest crawl time. It's kind of pointless, really, unless you're running separate, you know, like lights and a winch and all that stuff off a separate battery. I don't think there's a real good need to throw an extra battery in there.
So you'd rather have one larger battery than a bunch of small ones?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Same.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's how I run my truck, and it's better, I find.
Yeah?
Unless you, like, the only benefit I can see of running 2 smaller batteries is of being able to be placed in other places of your vehicle.
Mind you, a lot of
To make
people
them
that
look
are
more
asking
scaling,
run a
right?
front battery location. We don't run a front battery location in our trucks. We run them in the rear.
Yeah.
So that gives us a lot of room to work with. If you're having them in the front,
Right.
some people are having clearance issues. So I would recommend to flip things around and just figure out a better weight balance.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Brett, grab me that battery box.
Central weight.
And this is kind of one of my thoughts as well, because I run, right now I'm currently running, thanks man, right now I'm currently running all forward battery stuff, and I've got here Team AHK 3-cell, look at that, and that thing's huge. It's a 5,000, yeah, you can actually.
Yes.
It's a 5,000 cell MAH, or sorry, 5,000 cell.
Holy damn!
Yeah! It's
I
a,
really need to put that in.
it's a 3-cell 5,000 mAh battery, and it's quite large, and you see,
Wow.
I run battery forward on my trucks right now, this taller battery would not clear under my body. So I would run the smaller 3-cell, which is 2200, and again, you can see the size difference.
Yep.
You know, so okay, yeah, I got to do a couple extra battery changes, but this fits the kit a little bit better. Now, to your point as well, as far as battery placement,
I have a grocery getter, right? So I got a.
You've got a massive room, yeah. I'm actually in one of my kits. I'm going to create. These are not match cells, but I do have the pair to each one. I'm going to create a battery trays on top of my sliders.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to put them on each side, so they're dead center in the kit. They'll be like right here on the kit, and they'll be parallel. So I'll still get double the MAH, and then I can balance the load. So, but then because I'm still running battery and I can run battery back, if I want something different, I can put both in the front. I can split them. I can split them. No, because I'll run I'll run the parallel, so it doubles the MAH.
That's right. Okay.
But at that point, I can change the configuration to anything I wanted, depending on what condition we're in.
Yeah, so I guess it just depends on your build.
Yeah, and I mean these little batteries here are $20. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, man, $20.
Wow.
This one's a little bit more because it's a higher C.
Oh, and it's got carbon fiber wrap.
And it's got a sticker on it. Yeah. These ones do have a little bit better of a cell, but this is all we need for $20.
Wow,
and then
that's fair.
And then shameless plug. When you use the Scale Freak 10 discount code, you get 10% off that as well.
No
and
way.
they ship in Canada stupid cheap. And the batteries are already in Canada, so you don't have to wait China shipping fees.
Just Lipo, I'm coming to check you out soon.
Yeah, and I mean,
promise, I need some 3-cells.
These are going to my radio.
Oh, that's nice.
Little 1000 MAH packs in my radio.
That's good.
So
jealous.
Yeah. So those are all going to go. But so I guess it depends on what you're going to run. Thanks, man. Because if you're running 2 cells, you can put anything you wanted. But if you're running 3 cells, you may run into fitment issues.
Absolutely.
In which case, 3-cell all the way.
Like me and my father, like a lot of people think that because he was just recently asking me to pick one of these, right? So he's thinking, oh, I want to get this really high MAH battery, you know? He's like, I want to get that Traxxas 10,000 milliamp battery. And I'm like,
this big.
It's huge. I'm like, your car's just going to drag across the ground.
As a dragster, you don't need a large battery.
No.
You just need something that's got high. Like you could actually, it'd be better for you to put that 2200 small pack in there.
Yeah.
Because it would fit. It wouldn't add extra weight to the car, and it has a higher punch than that larger one does.
That's right.
And
within reason, you do want to
drag racing,
weight on the ass end though.
How many cell LiPo can this take?
3-cell.
Okay, if it was 6, we could run them in series.
Well, it's a Castle Mamba system, but Traxxas forced them to program it to only 3-cell so the market wouldn't go and burn their house down trying to charge 6-cell batteries.
So can you change that?
No, I've already looked into it. The Castle Link system won't allow it just at that point. That's where Traxxas they put the kibosh on it. But other than that, it's
you can change ESC.
I was going to say, you still got a Tekin laying around, don't you?
However, then it's not as fun because they got all the staging system through the controller programmed specifically to that ESC. So, but we can still put it.
But it would be just as much fun because it would just wheelie
all the
way. Now it really does. Those front tires leave the ground.
And I'm on ProTech 5000.
I believe it.
Yeah.
These are pretty. Those are sticky rear tires.
Oh, they're XL1 tires.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I love the sidewall.
Yep.
So next question here from John Austin. He says, "What's better to have, a single charger or a dual charger? What's the advantages and disadvantage?" That's actually a question that's been asked a lot to me when I had the hobby shop. Is it better to get? Is it better to get a single, a double, or a quad charger? Because depending on
if you're racing or not.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Myself, I own a dual charger, and I find it's great because it's like I'll go out for an afternoon to play with my RCs, and it's like, oh, you know what? Go home, charge them for an hour. For that 1 hour, I'm charging, instead of charging one battery, I'm charging 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It all depends on how much you use it and what you're using it for.
And you're right. That works. So. What are your thoughts?
I have an X1. It's just a single charger, and I love it. It's the best charger I've ever had, and it's basic, it's simple, and it works perfect. So to me, if I had it at the time maybe gone up a little bit and bought a dual charger, it would have been a little more convenient. But I never have a problem because I just charge up my fleet and I go up.
And you go out, yeah. Well, because we're running scalers and stuff that last you 4 hours
Same
a pack.
thing with the
so 3 batteries and you're good for the day.
So my thought on this one, because I've actually been in all situations. I've had single chargers, I've had multiple single chargers, I've had double chargers, I've had quad chargers. There was even times where I had multiple quad chargers.
Crazy,
well, that's when we were like all going traveling, and it was like, okay, beep, 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 and you hear my generator go, you know. But when it come down to it, I really honestly think that it's better to own multiple single chargers. If you have multiple batteries to do in a short period of time, get multiple single chargers. And my reasoning behind that is almost every quad charger that I've seen at one point, whether it be right from the box or 6 months down the road, one of the banks fuzzes out or the screen stops working or it has to be warranted for any reason. Now, the main company that sold me the quad chargers was gladly warranting anything. No problem, we'll warranty it. But you're without 4 chargers as it goes back and then it comes back to you. Yeah. Whereas I switched to my X1 Touch, and it can do 1 battery at a time, and I would like to have 2 X1 Touches. Well, you know what? I don't even care anymore because I'm not racing anymore.
That's what I mean.
But I would rather have 2 X1s for $200 than a quad charger for $200, or even just get, well, that's the X1 Touch is $100,
yeah.
Or get multiple X1s for $65.
Yeah.
And that way, if you're just going out for the day by yourself, you bring 1 charger. It takes up this much space.
That's right.
If you have the necessity for more, it takes up this much space times 2.
My charger is that big.
Yeah, it's a bit of a monstrosity. Yeah.
So you have a single or dual?
Dual.
And is that one that you have to have a power supply, or it has AC in it?
No, thank God it's in it.
Okay, good. Because for a while there, most of the dual chargers were super high output, but you had to have your own power supply.
Yeah.
Which was usually just ask a friend who's good with computers to give you a modular server power supply.
Yep.
Right.
It worked.
Instead of paying $200 online from big companies to get the same thing that you could pay $65 for.
Yeah. And they work for everybody. Everybody had them.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And if it broke, get another one.
That's it.
So yeah, so my thought behind it is a single charger. If you need more, multiple single chargers. It's almost like back when you used to be able to get VHS DVD players. But then one of them would break and you're without them both.
Always.
Then we have the internet, so you can watch your porn on that.
I have one of those, and I just use it as the surround now.
Really?
Yeah.
They still exist?
Yeah. Oh,
I don't think you can still buy one.
No, probably not.
Probably not. So next question here we've got from Justin Hubert from Michigan. He said,
one of those moments.
Oh, I want to know, is the TF2 good to pull an SCX10? And where can I get styrene? So this is a double question. So, is the TF2 good to pull an SCX10? Yes.
Yeah.
Whether you're pulling it on a trailer or you're pulling it out of a mud hole.
Yeah.
The TF2 is such a capable kit.
Yep.
And I actually think it's highly underrated from a lot of people online because it's RC4WD.
Just put shafts in it.
The kit, yeah, you need new axle shafts immediately. So when you order your TF2, order punch shafts at the exact same time. It's such an amazing kit. Can it pull an SCX10? Yeah, absolutely. And where to get styrene? Where do you guys get it at all?
I look on.
I haven't played with it yet.
Somebody was telling me that Michael's Arts and Crafts was a good place to get it, and you can get it in sheets, spools, rods, whatever you want. If you want to see something really neat, go to SoCrawl.com.
I was going to say, those guys have made some amazing things.
Yeah. Go to SoCrawl.com and look through the Styrene Challenge section.
There's a guy that built an entire garage with a scale tire balancer and changer. And,
and it worked. It would actually move its arm. Yeah. And I actually had the idea of, I got enough room here, I'd like to build a scale garage. Then I started seeing the stuff that they were making, and I'm like,
no.
All the time spent on that one item could have been something else.
Yeah, not even that.
Them for doing it,
not even that. I mean, I can't do what they do, and I'd be like, cool, look at my scale garage, and it'd be like, you have
see a picture there. So
you have a sticker of a welder.
Yeah.
Well, because I can't make my own. Okay, I have a little welder. You have a sticker of a welder.
Yeah, I know.
But
this one actually welds, and yours doesn't do anything.
Yeah, with 3D printers these days. Yeah, could you imagine?
Right?
Yeah.
This is an actual welder.
What?
What? Yeah, and I did, and you put your goggles on.
Soldering.
Yeah, you're making a whole chassis like. So
it'd be kind of cool.
I would actually kind of like that one. It was like a little mini solder tack.
I've been looking at Harley's videos, and Harley's was at Facebook and stuff like that, and he keeps posting pictures of all this new stuff that he's getting. And he's got this new welder that's like a little desktop welder, and he's got a station, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm building these chassis, and he's putting 3D designs online, and this new welder is just going to make him do it that much better and make the welds that much better. And I was like, bro, that's off to you, buddy. I can't even glue shit together without. You know, I have a hard time walking and chewing gum, and this guy's making chassis that you can drive over top of. Like,
that's awesome.
It's crazy. Next question here is from Joel Morecraft. He asks, why are solid axles better for scaling than independent suspension? So what do you think about that?
Scale. It looks like a real truck.
I don't know. I like the solid axle look. I like the way the solid axle works in real life too. You can feel the difference when you're in a solid axle vehicle than when you're in like an independent, like a new Chevy.
Yeah.
You feel it's weird, man. I don't know.
Grab an old truck like that and take a straight axle on the trail and then take an independent on the trail. And then when you get halfway in, go back and get the straight axle truck and come back and get the independent truck.
And pull the IFS out.
Yeah, that's it.
I know I've done, like, so regular trucks, like normal trucks, like one-to-one trucks, because I had that Ford, and the Ford's intent was to eventually become an off-road vehicle. And then I started looking into what you had to do the front end of that truck. Like, the IFS Ford, you can't even hook a plow to that truck.
No.
You put a plow to it, you hit something with a plow, front end drops, half shafts break.
Yep.
The ISF stuff, you can beef it up. You can put great big huge half shafts in it, but at a gigantic cost. And at that point, you're upgrading massive knuckles. You're basically not.
I see customers come in that have jacked the front ends and like literally their A-arms are touching the top of their strut towers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
the best is you see that giant block underneath the motor mounts. It's just like they dropped the whole suspension because the guy wanted to lift it up.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna lift it up, put a solid axle under it.
Yeah.
Big,
you know what I mean?
Like piece of steel in there. You're like,
you can put a really nice suspension on that truck for the amount of money that it's going to cost you to convert it.
I'm going to throw a video link down below of the Ultimate Adventure series, the Peterson's Ultimate 4x4 Adventure series. In 2011, they did an F-150 EcoBoost as their truck, and I want you to see what they've done in order to make this truck even runnable. Also, please remember that most, not all, but a lot of ISF trucks are big bastards. Like the Ford was way too wide to go on any trail in this area. Big Chevys, way too wide to go on any trail. A lot of the Jeeps and Sammys and Sunrunners and stuff like that, those were solid and they're smaller and they were just better for the trail. You also have to remember with a solid front axle, that's a lot less parts to break.
Absolutely.
And they're built stronger.
Yeah, wicked strong.
So, but again, it's your deal, what you want to do. I know a lot of guys are loving making ISF RC trucks. It's really neat to watch. I applaud them too, because that's pretty cool. But I'll just stick with my solid front axles. I'm actually really happy. There was some rumor that in order, because remember, in North America, over the next X amount of years, all vehicles have to start to meet miles per gallon liters per 100 kilometer target. It's been mandated by governments and stuff like that. So in order to make the change, Jeep rumored that they were going to have to get rid of the live axles and go to independent. For weight savings and stuff like that.
Poor company.
And gearing and things. And instead they did other things like super lightweight frame, ditch the spare tire off the back of the rig. But it was all in an effort to make it so they did not have to ditch solid front axle. So the Jeep owners were like,
Thank God.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's terrible.
So, and yeah, it's more scale because most vehicles are going to be solid axle. So, especially when you look at stuff like the older Toyota. I mean, that's the TF2.
That's it.
It's scale. And leaf spring. Right? And then this big bastard here, Jeeps are. Now, I would like to see more kits where the pumpkin's offset like it actually is.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to see more
kits. Where, like, the look of the Wraith axle looks really good, but it's way too wide.
Yeah, it's way too wide, but how it's offset like that.
Yeah, you're right. It is, And I mean, I'd love to see some more stuff. Like, I know, and we never talked about this before, but the GCM guys, when they were here a couple months back, they did bring us a surprise, something that no one has seen. And I couldn't even release it online. But I can just tell you that it's coming shortly, and it's going to look more scale than anything you've seen before. And they're going to be ultra affordable. So it's going to be really awesome for us to put on our kits, and it's going to be more of what would be scale. But I'm not going to talk about anymore. No more.
What could it be?
But man, I wish you were here because you could have had it in your hand and you would have been like, wow. And then you could try to put it in your pocket and you'd be like, man, is that my new blah, blah, blah in your pocket or are you just happy to see me? And I'm like, maybe both.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say to that. But expect to see some awesome stuff from GCM this summer. But go look at their channel as well because they're doing some really awesome stuff with their scale talk and their scale bench. And just talking about all the products that they have up there. Channel. This is my little list of linkies. So, all right, on to the next question.
You just call them linkies.
Linkies. It's another section. All right. So Josh Lamont from Vancouver asks, when can you tell if you've had enough paint down on your first layer to move to your second layer? He says he's painting a body white and needs to back it with black, but he's afraid the black will show through. So number one, dude, don't back white directly with black.
Actually, I did it with my LFA.
Oh, I always put a layer of silver in it.
Yeah. Oh no, I did it with my LFA.
No.
It worked.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. For me personally, I'll blast the white and then I'll put a quick layer of silver. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just a quick layer of silver just to fill any gap there might be.
Yeah, listen to Joe.
And then black behind it. But as far as how much paint, man, painting should take you a while. When I take a brand new body that's all been washed out, pre-trimmed, pre-everything, I got rubber gloves on because I don't want to get fingerprints on it. My window masks are already in it. My first coat is literally like done. Barely even enough.
Just enough to fog the body.
Barely even enough to change the hue of the Lexan. That's exactly it. And then let it chill for a while. Not cold, but like rest. Because chill doesn't work. And the reason why I do that is because the first layer needs to dry completely and it will create the bond with the Lexan and then all the other paint will stick well to that paint. So that's really as you go through bit by bit.
And every layer, it's the same idea. Just keep going over with slight layers until
it
gets to a nice rich color after that. Then you can lay down a couple thick coats before you go with your black if you want to do white.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And take your time with it because remember, just like real vehicles, if you put on too much paint, it'll orange peel. It will flake, it will drip, and you don't get the option to just wet sand it. No. Like it's not like a real body where you're like, oh. Yeah. And then if you layer too much paint on without letting the previous layer dry, none of it will dry. No. it'll never cure correctly.
No, and that's when it flakes a lot.
Yeah.
The best is when you get a sag. The whole body panel just like, oh, come on!
And also, you didn't mention if you were using airbrush or rattle can. Make sure that if you're using airbrush, you read the instructions of the paint because a company like Fast Color can be shot at like 40 pounds, but a company like Spastics gets shot at like 14 pounds, if not a little bit less. If you fire Spastics at 30 pounds, it dries in the air before it ever hits. I learned that lesson. I'm in here and I got paint residue in my nostrils and in my ears and I was wearing a mask and everything was covered in paint residue and it could wipe off, but the stuff dried as it left the gun because I was firing too much pressure.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because that's it's a lacquer-based paint, where opposed to the watercolor that's Fast Color that's water-based, you can blast that out as hard as your compressor can fire. You can blow that out of your gun. But it's like 40 pounds, I think. And also read the temperature specs because Tamiya I've never had a problem with. Tamiya rattle cans.
They're the best.
But I agree. Yeah. Spastics is really good, but you have to have the correct temperature, the correct can temperature. It can never have been frozen. It can't be too hot. They've got great nozzles. And I think the paint sprays better.
And I did my best with Spastics. I tried so hard the very first time I hit something, it flaked.
Yeah. So also Tamiya, go take a look. You can find some videos online of the correct way to preheat the can. You know, and it just makes it so much better.
Yep, it does. It's true though.
Painting can be an art form and a hobby in itself with all the stuff that you need to do. It's actually pretty amazing.
That's half the fun of getting a new kit.
I love new bodies.
You get a new kit and you're like, ooh, get a new body.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this one?
Make sure with Tamiya paint, if you're getting it, you get the PS paint, not the TS paint. Do not let your hobby shop screw with you and give you TS. It's not the right paint. It's not the right paint at all. Like
I didn't even know.
Not even a little bit. PS is polycarbonate paint.
Right.
Yep. TS is plastic paint. Plastic paint will not bond to the Lexan correctly. So you're pooched. There's a hobby shop here in St. Catharines that they'll sell you TS paint, and when you leave and you come back and be like, you gave me TS. Ah, too bad you bought it.
Oh.
Be like, oh, you just have an overstock of TS paint, don't you?
I'm just going to go spray paint this on the wall outside.
I wonder if this works on glass.
That's right.
So next question here, Joseph McDonald from Boulder Creek, California. Yeah, Cali. Says, I was wondering if you could do a video or link to to a good video on how to crawl or trail driving with RC. So what do you guys think of that?
I would say just go check them.
It's a little bit of us, and we'll send a little bit out to Medic there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The RC Adventure Series is awesome. You know, if you're watching us right now, then you can go through and check a bunch of links on us crawling. Blessed to be a lot more this summer. But RC Adventures is a really neat series of all different types of vehicles and crawling and competitions.
He's been doing it for like a decade now, so if you can't find it on this channel, it doesn't exist.
It's actually the reason why I got an SCX10.
Yeah,
to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Watching his videos, it was like, you know what? I want one of those trucks.
Yeah.
I want one.
So is he gonna get you to buy one of those great big massive?
No.
Those like $8,000.
Yeah. I was looking at a couple of those.
He's posting videos of pulling up in the transport truck and dropping it off the load them, just like,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the controller that he's got, and I'm like, there's so many buttons.
Switches.
I'd be like, honey, remember you wanted me to dig that garden out for you?
Oh,
This will help with
I just made it fun for me.
Yeah. She's like, I thought you were doing the garden. I am. It's taken me 2 months and it's half done. Meanwhile, I'm out in the backyard. Beep, 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 beep. It would make scooping dog shit way easier.
That it would.
That'd be great.
Did you clean up the shit in the yard? Oh yeah, absolutely I did. 1 second, honey, I gotta go charge some more batteries. That would be pretty funny. Check out Crawler Ted too. Crawler Ted's got a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. Crawler Ted's funny as hell too, because him and JD they're a riot. I just watched a video they just did. They found like a monster trike where they were out scaling, and they happened to be on a massive hill, and they're like, fuck, let's put a ramp on the bottom.
No way.
And they're trying to blast down this hill, and they would have hurt themselves real fun, but they caught a lot of snow and it slowed them down. But JD's just like, no, let me try it. And you just see him like he's loaded for bear. He's gonna there's gonna be bodily harm, but the snow stopped him.
That's too bad.
And the whole time I'm like, yes. I want to see all tires off the ground. Like, you know that picture? That picture of the little meme you can find of the kid on the 3-wheeler, and it's just like he's rambling. I was like, that's gonna be JD. Wheel. That's gonna be JD and them. They're for sure they'll be doing it. But for me, all of my crawling, trailing videos, I watch one-to-one videos. I just type in Moab Jeep Safari, and that will unlock your universe. Also check out, again, Peterson's, was it 4x4 magazine? They do the Ultimate Adventure every year. You can find a whole bunch of that stuff on YouTube, and that's like, they'll do everything. They'll do rocks and mud and road. They'll do it all in a whole video series, which is pretty phenomenal. But mostly, when I'm scaling, because like I said before, I like to go really, really slow. And that's because I watch the videos of these real Jeeps and these real trucks that are on the rocks, where if they do go fast, they will annihilate everything on their truck.
And they go home broke.
Or they're getting lifted out. So I watch a lot of Moab stuff. I love Moab videos. It taught me so much about the Moab bump and how speed kills, but momentum is the key. And you learned, like, oh, you get stuck, back it up and just give it a bump, you know, and you'll learn
fluid in the throttle, like just so you don't get stuck all the time. Your motor's always consistently working to help get past that little bit that you need. We had some really cool stuff going on the other night. Pumba and I were out crawling, and I learned the momentum was just what I needed to get through everything that day. It was awesome.
Yeah, and that was the same thing when I fell off the rocks.
Momentum just kept you going.
Momentum just kept me going. And speed would have killed me, but momentum.
That's why you lived. Momentum.
I'm also going to put a link down below for Project Rattletrap. And I want you to go check this out for real. This is from a company in Canada up on the Shield in Huntsville. And I saw this thing one day. I was crossing the border and I crossed behind it and I followed this guy until he pulled off, because I was like, this was the most spectacular Jeep I have seen in my entire life. And you've got to go see Project Rattletrap, because it is by far, it's the older brother of all Jeeps that ever existed. Like, it's got a turbo just to spin the turbo. just to run the Cummins diesel that's on it.
Oh,
and you can watch it, like you'll hear it like glug, 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 glug. It'll pull up to an obstacle and it'll like, they literally can pull up to a wall and climb it.
No.
Like, because the front tires are so big, it's got pit bulls on it, and they're so big that they stick out further than the front of the truck does. So all they do is just hit it, and then it goes up. And they've actually extended the Jeep by 7 inches. So that the entire Jeep is longer than every other Jeep, just to give it more wheelbase.
Yeah.
And I was looking at this Jeep, and there's almost nothing original on it. Almost the entire Jeep.
It just looks like the Jeep.
Almost the entire Jeep is one-off. And the funny part is, it's an exhaust shop that built it. They built this whole thing to sell their exhaust. And it's got a smokestack like this on the top of it. When you watch the video, you'll just see it hit, and then you hear, and then you hear one turbo, spool the other turbo, and then it's like a
soot just come.
Yeah, it's almost like a tanker. Just you can't even see the Jeep leave the hole. You just see people going, and then the Jeep's parked over there somewhere.
Yeah,
but look at it, Project Rattletrap. It's Canadian. It's intense. When I saw it was just coming back from Moab and just coming back from SEMA. So if you've been to Moab or you've been to SEMA, it was there for years. So you may have seen it. So, but it's covered in rigid lights. It's covered in pit bull. Pretty much
everything cool that's on it.
Yeah, man. And mostly stuff that we can get too, right?
Which is cool.
Oh, but dude, it's just.
Paycheck, yeah.
Oh no, this thing would be. I don't think you could ever recreate it. I bet you it'd be like, listen, how many zeros is on the end of your like? Just give me a blank check with the name sign on the bottom, and eventually it'll happen. Yeah. How fast you want it depends on how many zeros we add to the end.
Yeah.
But I'm going to Moab this weekend. No. So. Next question here from Charlie Mangs. I'm gonna M-A-N-G-E-S. Sorry, buddy. I've been doing pretty good with getting names. This is a great question. Do you think Tekin will ever go waterproof? Seeing that Castle did, and he went on to mention that Castle's seen a lot of success from their waterproof stuff.
I think Traxxas kind of got that from when they originally did the VXL system.
What, the waterproof stuff?
Yeah.
You think Traxxas got it or Castle?
Well, I think it was a combination of both because Traxxas wanted their vehicles to be waterproof, and obviously back then they had gotten into bed with Castle to build their brushless systems.
Yep.
And I think that's where Castle prevailed on that one because they got the waterproof. I don't know who brought it to who, but that combination is awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have it now, I really think Tekin should.
So do you think they will though? Like in the foreseeable future, can you see it? Knowing how all the Tekin systems work, because remember, Tekin don't add heat sinks to their systems. Their posts are their heat sinks, unless you're the RX-8 or the
they can maybe come out with a different line, so they don't have to go all waterproof with their stuff.
I can see them making a specific ESC for the crawler application.
I think that would be more appropriate.
You know what I mean? With the amount of people out there scaling right now, and it's just blowing up, right? So a lot of people are running the
like they know they want to just drop the Rock 12 system in there and go through a swamp.
Yeah. They
really do,
man. Yeah, I want to see those tires spin all over the place.
I want to see the 4 mud rooster tails. That's what you want.
Yeah. Hold your hand up. How tall was that one? Oh, that was 4 feet.
I want to be able to get my tire stuck in the muck and the rocks and pull it right out of the rim. That'd be wicked. Man, you got torque like that. That's awesome.
I want to be able to pull my Honda out of the garage.
That would be neat.
So you think they're gonna do? You think you're gonna do it? And you're thinking FXR is? I mean, FXR is this big. They could expand it a little bit.
No. No, waterproof it.
No, I get it, but
no, you're right. They could even build a box that just kind of cases the old one, built-in heatsink and waterproof.
Yeah.
Even if we need to heatsink them, I mean, I've got that thing stuffed with my receiver in my receiver box for 4 hours at a time, and nothing ever warms up.
No, it's true. It never gets really that hot crawling. If you got hot crawling, you got bad gearing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
Totally.
So, I can answer this question. You know what? You're wrong. I can't answer this question. But what I can tell you is when I was speaking with Randy Pike a long time ago on the Cookie with Nitro podcast, that question came up. And what he had told us at that time, and mind you, this was probably 2 years ago maybe, he said that Tekin was experimenting with different polymers or different epoxies to encase their electronics to be able to be waterproof. And he said it's something that they were testing at that time, playing around with, but he said that the problem is that when you waterproof your ESC in the manner that a company like Castle or something would, warrantyability becomes a problem. They can't fix them anymore because they're encased in an epoxy.
Yeah.
And at that point, they're like, because remember, Tekin is amazing for their warranty. If something's broken, you send it back, they fix it. They charge you for that fix, and then if they can't fix it, they give you a new one. If they were to waterproof stuff, they would either have to nullify a warranty, because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but on all waterproof ESCs, it specifically says not to be used with water.
Yeah, well, so they do it. Yeah,
and so even if it does say waterproof, they will not warranty a water problem.
Nope.
But the Tekin stuff, and remember, Tekin is racing. You know, Team Tekin, Team Red, like it's wah.
No, yeah, but that's what I mean. Maybe just call it a different series.
Yeah, and I would love to see the FXR. And I think for me, I mean, knowing that the FXR never really gets hot, just throw it in a balloon.
I do that with my receiver box and stuff. Yeah.
Because you could put the whole receiver box in a balloon.
Yeah, of course.
You know, or like
I just plastered it to everything.
Gigantic condom.
No, I've run a balloon in my truck for the last couple of years.
He's like, oh, now I'm thinking condoms are a good idea.
No.
You got how many kids now?
You got 3.
Then condoms have never been a good idea for you, have they?
Obviously, they haven't been in the house. No.
How's your kid doing?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Wicked.
He's over my place today. He's really
I stole mine today and took him to work. My wife, I come home because today was my day off, and my wife's like, I gotta take a shower. You want to just keep him busy for a while? Boom! In the chair, in the car, off to work.
That's cool.
I just walked around going, just flying my bear plane, because I call my kid Bear.
Yeah.
Even though his name is John, he's going to grow up with the name Bear. So I was flying the bear plane around the dealership, and everyone was like, oh, that's so cute. And I was like, yeah.
You went to work on your day off?
Well, I have to go in every morning for a sales meeting.
Oh, okay.
And the SI was there.
That's true. That's
man,
true.
I work with cars all day, man. Like, of course I want to be there.
You can't pay me to go to work on my day off.
You don't love tires?
No, fuck.
He's like, are you kidding me? He's like, every time
my job has its fun days. I'm not gonna lie. I get to work on some badass cars.
That Camaro.
Yeah,
that Camaro was a beast.
I get handed the keys to $100,000 cars all the time. But then you got to work on everybody's ratty ass piece of shit.
Or you got to deal with.
I love all my customers.
Then you got to deal with guys who pull 2 cars in from dealerships and being like, "Listen, I dropped the ball, and you should do this and this and this and this," and he's like, "Ugh, whatever."
That's why you called me, though.
I know, that's exactly why I called you.
That day.
And you weren't even there, and you're just like, "Hold on, 1 second. Okay, it's good."
Yep.
And literally, I pulled in, and both bays were open. Both cars went in. It went vroom, vroom, vroom. Okay, get the fuck out.
That's it. And I wasn't even there.
No, and your guys are just like, so why are we doing this again? I'm like, because didn't Dave tell you to? Oh yeah, okay, then that's why we're doing it. That was fun, and your guys are quick too.
Yeah.
So we'll make this the last question of the show here. So Cody Kostoff asks, he's from Independence, Missouri, if anybody wanted to know.
That's cool.
What's the difference between a 31 turn, a 29 turn, oh sorry, not turn, tooth. 31 tooth, 29 tooth, 25 tooth diff gear, and the same difference with powdered steel gears. So, Dave, give it.
To tell you the truth, it's just the gearing. The difference between them would just depend on how fast the differential overclocks, right? And if not, isn't that how the differentials work with your system and your what's the name of your truck?
The SCX-10.
Yes,
exactly.
I had a total brain fart.
Yeah, all right.
I've never really experimented with differential gears. I know there is some counter steer kits for drift cars that utilize differential gears like that to create the counter steer effect in shaft driven cars. But yeah, other than that, I've never really. I'm learning still on that because of my Sakura.
You're not.
Power to the gear, man.
All right, so teeth on your diff gear, the biggest difference is going to be, and I'm gonna relate this to just gears in general, right? So the smaller the gear, the less teeth it has, the faster it turns with the less torque it produces. So in this case here, if you had if you took a 31 and you change it to a 25, if it was say, and I'm just gonna take this back to the axial stuff, if you were to put that in the front end of your SCX-10, a smaller tooth diff gear or crown gear, pinion gear, whatever you want to call it, will turn faster than a 31 turn that you could possibly put in the back. That would be called overdriving. Or if you were in a drift car, you did the opposite. That would be counter steering because you're overdriving the back end.
Right.
The trick is that with less teeth, you get more speed but way less torque. And that's basically what it comes down to. It's the same way when you're doing pinion gears and differential spur gears.
That's what I was going to relate.
Then it's the same idea. Less teeth equals a faster turn but less torque. Bigger equals, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the same rules are going to apply to differential or any gearing in any vehicle.
Yeah, but the trick with any adjustments, is that if you're overdriving, you're putting more wear and tear on your system. But if you're changing your gearing, you've got to watch your motor temperatures, because you will start to either overspin, so too much RPM, overturn your motor, which case it just heats up from excessive electricity going through it. Or you'll start to overwork your motor if your gear is too small, because you're asking the motor to do more work than it's able to.
And it's just spinning way faster than it has to.
And what you'll end up doing in that case is just bogging it down and causing it to just basically smoke itself. So play with your gearing to find that middle ground is kind of your best case. And as far as powdered steel gears, stay away from them. Basically, a powdered steel gear, or sometimes...
Is it what it sounds like, a powdered...
Doesn't that just crumble away?
They're cast gears.
Okay, they're terrible.
Buy machine gears. Always buy machine gears. The powdered stuff, literally, it'll work, and then it will just fail. And it literally, like, half the gear will break in half, and then you'll have bits and bobs floating all over the place. Always get yourself pay the money for good machine gears.
Absolutely.
Always pay the money for good machine gears.
Robinson Racing.
The Robinson Racing is some great stuff.
Absolutely.
And then those axial gears that I put in my transmission are phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And then when I upgraded to the HD stuff,
beautiful. That's awesome.
because the stock stuff is cast. Like the stock pinion, head, the crown gear is cast.
Yes, it is.
I upgraded to the machine stuff, and it's more precision. It doesn't bind as much, because sometimes you'll be turning it and it will catch a spot, and you're like, yeah, the gear's a little thicker there. But you don't want to have too much backlash, because then all you get play.
Yeah, you want it to be tight.
Pretty much what I'll do in that case is I'll shim it up so it's tight in one spot, then I'll slam it in a drill, just until it wears itself in. That's what I used to do to low-C transmissions too, because you can never build a low-C transmission without them being tight. So just and what else did I do that to? Ball diffs. I throw a ball diff and just hold the gear, put it in a drill, and tighten it. People are like, no, you wear it in over your first couple races. F that, this thing's going to work now. Get a drill, put it on high, and just cook it.
And give her.
I always thought that maybe doing a brushed motor would work like that too, but I don't know. It's just easier to make a mess in the living room and drop it in a cup of water.
You gotta be a kid every once in a while, man.
Oh man,
what's gonna happen is spinning.
But the time that I did it, I didn't take the pinion gear off.
That's perfect.
So when I dropped it in, it was in the living room. My wife's sleeping on the couch, and I was like, I had a cup of water. It was not this big. It was a glass of water. And the instructions were very easy. Well, online instructions were very easy. 3 volts is all you need. So you take 2 AA batteries, and you tape them up, positive, like opposite ways, and then just tape one end on, and then you just hold the motor, and you just go pop like that. It spins the motor slowly. You drop it in the water. Well, I forgot that those old Traxxas brush motors, not only did I not take the pinion off, but they've got internal turbines.
I was going to say, that was my first experience.
So I just went, and I dropped it in the water, and my wife woke up because everything, including her, was covered in water, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, apparently nothing anymore. So I cleaned everything up, and I went into the garage. But at the same time, I used to have those Duratrax ice chargers that you could just go beep, and it would break in your motor for you. Just hit the button, walk away for a half hour, you come back, it's broken in.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
It was a dry break-in process. There were so many funny break-in processes, like, okay, a glass of Coke.
What?
Yeah, one was
never heard of glass of Coke.
No, because it's got the sugar in it, and it winds the brushes down really, really well.
Okay.
Seriously, man. And I tried it. It works like that.
Really?
I just clean the motor out, otherwise you get ants. Toothpaste.
You don't want ants in your motor.
Mix toothpaste up in water, but you got to use a cheap toothpaste, something with grit in it.
Oh,
you drop
like an Arm & Hammer.
Yeah, or like something gross.
I wonder if it's the whitening one would work.
You gotta get the complete. Get complete.
Copper brushes.
The whole time he's like, something smells minty fresh. My motor's cooking. No plaque or cavities in my Tekin. I'm gonna have to break in a motor again soon, because at the end of this season, regardless of what happens with my 35 turn, I'm rebuilding it. And then it's like, I gotta re-break it in. Damn it. And re-time it. Damn it. Buy a new motor. Okay. I'll just. Well, I saw a picture the other day of I think it was Caller Ted's garage. It may have been Caller Ted's garage, and you can see off in the distance, there's just a framing, and it's a stack, like into the corner of the framing of all old motors.
Oh, no way.
Just like a stack of motors, and I was like, wow, they do a lot of crawling.
Yeah, they must kill a lot of motors.
Well, you see, if you watch any of his videos of him and JD going at it, it's wreckers or checkers. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to happen. But that's what makes the video so much fun.
That's
so
it.
go look at Crawler Ted, man. Especially because he just gave away a bunch of shirts of mine, too. So people are messaging me, and they're like, yeah. So, but
stuff.
That's it for questions today. Go look at the linkies below. There's lots of stuff in there that I really want you to help support. Especially like Medic, you're probably already on Medic's channel.
Yeah.
And Crawler Ted, you are probably already on Crawler Ted's channel as well.
And if not, get on that.
Yeah, and scalefreak.com, scalefreak.com always.
Right.
But SoCrawl.com as well. It's Southern Ontario Crawl is what it started as. I don't know if they're going to change its name because it's become way more than Southern Ontario.
Yeah.
But they've got, go look at that Styrene challenge, man. Holy crap.
Yeah,
some of the stuff that they make is just, it'll blow your mind. Man, they make this crazy little snap-on tool chest.
Oh,
all the drawers were done.
The guy with the oxy-acetylene torch is on the little dolly.
Made his own dolly too.
Yeah.
And of toolboxes, like it was a toolbox challenge. So some guys are making, like you said, the great big snap-on chest.
It wasn't just
with functional doors and lights.
Yeah.
And then he made a little. He printed off one of those little axial print-offs of the box.
Yeah.
And set it on there, and I put a little truck on the other side. And I was like, damn.
Seen a couple with an actual print of a Timmy's cup, the roll up the rim.
Yeah. That's Top Shelf Hobbies that makes those.
Yeah.
And you go check him out too.
Little tiny Timmy's cup to go in the little cup holder of your scale.
Yeah, didn't your daughter steal those?
I bought 5.
Yeah, and
And
she took for the tea house.
And they're all in her dollhouse.
Yeah, exactly. So if you find Brett on Facebook, you'll find a lot of pictures of Megan stealing his drift cars and loading them up with My Little Ponies.
All my kids.
Oh. So that's it for this video, guys. Remember, please, guys, go support those guys because it's phenomenal, and you're going to see a lot of really good stuff. Also, go check out GCM because the stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we're good for today. Any closing comments?
No, man, just glad to be back.
Any closing comments?
I can't wait to get outside.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you know what?
It's just starting to get
the
nice
sun came out
here.
today at work, and I'm like, you know what? I really feel like an 80-degree fever's going on, so I gotta go.
I'm thinking about just taking my kit to work with me all the time.
Actually, we were thinking, what if we do a Scale Freak on location?
That's right.
I mean, sorry, Bench Questions on location.
Yeah, we were talking about that. What about
It wouldn't even work. Dave, get back here and answer the question. Hold on, man. I'm going over this
No,
rock.
we'll just find a nice area, and we'll just kind of hang out there.
Yeah.
Let's strap the GoPro to your chest. We'll do like Uncle Si with Si Vision. We'll put the one in front of your face. So you could do the video and then have us around it. It would be awesome.
Whatever.
You know what? It could happen.
I think it could happen.
It definitely happened. Let's just let it warm up a little bit because sitting around in a chair
No
all
one
the
knows what
time.
I'm saying.
And really,
it would get outside, man.
It would just be a bunch of. Well, we can start opening the doors.
That's cool.
And we'll be like, oh, hey, bud, what's up? Come on in.
Hey!
Yeah, I live right next door to a convenience store. There's always people walking by. I'd be like, hey, you out for a rip, are you, bud?
Last time I was here, someone got arrested when I left.
Out for a rip. So I'm going to put another video down below, and you have to check this one out. This is ridiculously Canadian. Are you out for a rip, are you, bud?
Yeah.
It's ridiculously Canadian. You have to watch that video. If you're American, you're just going to look at it and go, I don't get it. But when you're Canadian, you're going to be like, yeah, bud. So I'm out for a rip, and my buddy's like, hey, I operate chainsaws. It's so funny. But okay, we're done. I got no closing comments. This thing is badass. I love what you did to this thing. Rock and roll. So let's end it here. Of course, please get your questions in. There's only a couple left in the bucket. So remember, the contest ends on the 19th at midnight. So get your questions in by then. So I can get them in the bucket, I can get them answered, but I can also get you on the list to win a t-shirt. So please, 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 yeah, whoop, whoop. And then other than that, as always, you got to remember to like the video. What else we got to do?
Comment,
and
subscribe.
And then Brett, you got one too? What's the last one?
What?
We got to comment, share. No, damn it.
You gave it away. Way to go.
You got to share the video as well. Get it out there. There's been a lot of people coming to me saying, hey, I joined your channel. This person sent me. Great job, guys. You're getting it out there, which is phenomenal.
I noticed your numbers are growing, bud. Way to go.
Yeah, it was
you're doing all right.
300 the last time I checked, which is It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And especially because some of these people are like, dude, if you ever come to this area, or, also from the last video, remember, KentuckyCrawlers@gmail.com. He wants to build a crawl community in Kentucky, so email him, KentuckyCrawlers@gmail.com. If you're from Kentucky, fire him a message. If you're not from Kentucky, fire him a message anyway, because he sounds like a good guy. But other than that, okay, seriously, we are actually coming up on the hour. I might get this done in an hour, and well, I was going to count down from 3, 2, 1, but there's still 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
3, 2, 1. All right, we're done.